Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. I'm going to walk you through the stores here in Pittsburgh to show you kind of what I'm seeing here. What I'm seeing is persistent shortages on lots of items, and this is not items that we're having just so much demand for. It's not like everyone's running out and buying these products. It's just these products are in shortage and they continue to be in shortage over the long haul. It's the same products. We are having systemic issues on certain items. You're going to see them with your own eyes. Let's go straight to the pictures. Folks, you've seen this aisle here, the pancakes and the Eggos and all that kind of stuff like that. We just keep having persistent holes, especially in the generic sections. This is at Wally World, of course, great value brand there. But when we get to the potatoes, just the frozen potatoes, look how it's just wiped out. This is, 5 bays? Almost completely wiped out. All those frozen potatoes, hash browns, French fries, all that. I know we're having potato shortages and everything like that, but this is something we haven't seen since the peaks last year, where we were seeing the French fry shortage, right? And this is really persistent. This may be that we're kind of waiting for that harvest of potatoes to really get processed and start hitting the store shelves. But it's just ongoing. It's been like that off and on for over a year now. And these are supply chain issues that are not being resolved. They are, in fact, getting worse. You see things like pizzas, right? You just see certain brands of pizzas just can't keep their stuff in stock. What ingredients are they not getting? We see holes like this all over the shelves. We just see different products where they just can't restock them. If you're a business and you cannot produce enough product to sell, you're either doing really, really well or you're doing really, really bad. And I promise you, it's not the first. Companies out there are not making millions and billions. The stock market keeps showing that these companies are not making money. They're getting hammered right now. All the food companies are getting hammered except for the ones that own, like Tyson. They own everything, and they have basically a monopoly. But the competitive companies that are having to compete with other companies cannot get the products. The meat section looked relatively well. There's some holes there, but it looks just like a restocking issue. We haven't seen persistent beef shortages on the fresh side or on the frozen side. Prices continue to escalate ridiculously, of course, though. Now, they're going to get way, way worse. We're going to start seeing that as the sale of cattle starts to drop off dramatically. We're going to see there's a lot less cattle out there. A lot of farmers liquidated their herds because they could not afford to feed them this winter. The tea section still is having issues keeping stocked. They condensed the tea section and they can't keep it in stock. And that's partly because they're having issues over in the coffee section. Now, they shrunk the Folgers section pretty significantly, but they're still having some gaps there over on the far right there. I wasn't able to get a better picture, sorry. There was some people there, and I got what I could there. But you can see well enough that there's some gaps over there and that the Folgers section has shrunk a good bit. Now, if you're willing to go over to Maxwell House and, there's coffee. There's coffee for sure for now. When it comes to vinegar, we continue to see issues with them getting vinegar out there, particularly the generic brands, right? We keep seeing the generics are disappearing very quickly, and they keep shrinking the shelf space for the generic vinegar, and they keep expanding the shelf space for Heinz vinegar, which used to only have a couple bottles fronted there, but now it's like it's taking over the section because they can't keep their great value brand on stock. Now, one thing I haven't seen is those 20 pounders of Pinto Beans in a very, very long time. Glad to see those there. In fact, I was running by there so fast I didn't actually see that they were there until I was looking back through the pictures. But if I had seen that, I probably would have picked up a couple of those 20-pounders of Pintos, because that's a pretty good deal. And those are a nice thing to have. 20-pounders of rice, a couple of those. And then, of course, you have your other brands of rice in there, but the 20-pounder of rice are still kind of scarce. They used to be more on the shelf there. When you go to all the salad dressings, all the barbecues, everything just seems to have holes everywhere. They just can't keep a lot of these secondary products in stock. It's just everything's thin. The supply chain and logistics are just not getting the job done. Ketchup actually looks surprisingly well. Before, we were having a lot bigger issue with Heinz Ketchup, which here in Pittsburgh is kind of a travesty, because this is where Heinz Ketchup is. Their headquarters is here in Pittsburgh. The chicken. The chicken was devastated 2 weeks ago when I did these pictures. There was just no chicken there at all. And now we're looking at the single cans are pretty devastated, but the multi-packs of chicken, there's more, but it's still extremely thin. That's not, I mean, if you're trying to get those 4-packs right there, how many options do you have? You got five 4-packs there left. 5 of them. I mean, I'm sure that those sold out before I left. Before I left or before the end of the night. When you look through the rest of this, one thing I notice here is that they took the Keystone meats. They used to have 4 separate spots. They've shrunk it down to just the chicken now. There it is. There's the Keystone meats. But you see where this banner sausage is, which is not sausage. Just fair warning for you guys. That's actually basically like potted meat. So if you want something that tastes like Vienna sausages that you're going to cook up, go get that. Learn from my mistake there, folks. But you know, so you got the Keystone beef hiding behind there. But that whole section, this Patterson's and the Spam, those weren't there before. And also notice once again that the Spam is hiding on the top shelf. All the flavored Spams, including some of the generic Spam, hiding on the top shelf, as well as Treat. You know, and that's actually a pretty high shelf. A lot of shorter people can't reach up there. I can barely get at it with my fingertips, and I'm 5'11". So, you know, they like to hide the stuff that they don't want to sell. And people don't believe me, but that's what they keep doing. Just next to that, we have the canned chili. That's almost like a meat kind of thing. And so we're seeing a lot more holes there as well. They can't keep the canned meat in stock very well. I mean, it's there, but we're seeing the beginnings of issues there. The instant mashed potatoes at first glance looks pretty good, and then you realize, hey, where's the generic? That whole second shelf of individual packages of instant mashed potatoes, those used to be generics. And all they did was they just widened out the name brand. They can't keep generics in stock, so they just gave up. When you look at the canned soups, just lots of holes. Certain varieties they can't keep in stock. Certain varieties, like, you know, unknown things like chicken noodle soup by Campbell's. When you can't keep Campbell's chicken noodle soup in stock, there is a problem, folks. I promise you, there is a problem. It's not like everyone suddenly said, let's go get a whole bunch of Campbell's chicken noodle soup, ha ha ha. And Campbell's like, gee, we don't have the production to keep up. People aren't buying more chicken noodle soup. The problem is they're not making as much chicken noodle soup. That's the problem, folks. When you look at the pasta aisle, this is not how things used to look. This is what it looks like when there's a hurricane. But I promise you, in Pittsburgh, we have no hurricanes on the horizon, no snowstorm coming this weekend. There's just no pasta. because they're not making enough. I keep repeating this. Generic beef stew, they're not making enough. Now, I understand a lot of people are switching more towards generics, but is anyone going to make the case for me that everyone suddenly doubled their purchases of salt? Because this whole bottom shelf here used to be the 1-pounder canisters of salt. There's no salt for generic. There's no name brand pounders of salt. They're all gone. Every single one of them. Tell me that's not a supply chain issue. That's an issue. And it was so bad for so long that people bought up all the name brand ones too. That's how long it's been going on. I wasn't here last week, but I anticipate that if I had been, all the generics are probably gone and some of the name brand were gone. And then this week, because they still haven't rectified it, people ended up buying the more expensive name brand stuff. We still have a fairly good selection of vegetable oils. That's a mainstay for folks who need the fat in their diet. Now, I know some of you feel very strongly against those vegetable oils, but they are a mainstay of diet and calories out there. Sweetened condensed milk looked worse from where I was, but looking at the picture, you can see that there's a whole nother row behind there, so that stock looked actually pretty adequate. All-purpose flour, it's a little short, but not catastrophic, but wait until you see some more pictures coming up here. Oatmeal, we're hearing from other people that quick oats are getting really hard to find in Walmarts and in certain parts of the country. So if you like your quick oats or your oatmeal, you might want to make sure that you're stocked up on that, because we're hearing people out there saying they can't find them. This is oatmeal pressed into bars, and they're having a hard time making them. There's a lot of gaps there. Mostly gaps with just a few boxes of fruit and grain kind of bars. Here's something that I've been trying to buy. These I'm going on a road trip again here this week, and I wanted to get some raspberry tea Arizona cans. 82 cents is a pretty good rate. I was thinking about getting a couple for our road trip. Last time I was here, they didn't have them. Here again, they still don't have them. Are all those cans going somewhere else? Or are they just not making them? And if they're just not making them, why not? Supply chain issues, folks. When you see persistent shortages like out of certain items, and we're just being conditioned for this. We're being conditioned. The artificial and creamer, that actually doesn't seem too bad. A couple varieties are having issues there. I mean, it's not where we would like it to be. Oh, look, they have eggnog finally. That's actually kind of exciting. It's almost eggnog season, folks. Anyway, but the creamers look actually a little bit better than normal. Half and half, more in stock than normal. So, but still serious issues there. You look on the right there, right? Chocolate milk still having issues. Someone did chime in last week that they think it might be more the thickeners as opposed to the chocolate itself that's causing issues, that they can't get enough thickeners. They put some stuff in there to kind of bulk it up to make it feel richer. And they're having issues trying to get those chemicals. Yeah, you thought it was you just thought it was milk with chocolate in there, just like I did, right? No, they put a whole bunch of stuff in there to trick you into thinking it's a milkshake or something. Anyway, I always did think it tasted kind of richer or felt kind of richer. Cream cheese. Stock of cream cheese is significantly down of the tubs once again. I don't know why they just can't keep the tubs, but also even the cream cheese bars, there's a lot less of those. So We're keeping an eye on that. We're watching them like a hawk. Eggs were so-so. Sometimes they have one of the bunkers full of eggs, and they did not have the bunker full of eggs this week. But the section on the wall, this whole section didn't seem too bad. It looks like they have enough eggs, at least for today. Pancake waffle mixes, some holes. It's still in stock. Spaghetti sauces, still having issues there. A whole bunch of holes and just low stock. This is over at Aldi. Notice that. Head of lettuce out of stock. So we just put some celery here. Some yucky looking celery. So, yay. No issues here. Keep on moving. We just don't have lettuce. I mean, another small item. These are eggs here that we have gaps here. These are like the fancy free range, whatever eggs. Not huge issues, but, just more kind of wrinkles in the supply chain. They did have more oats over here at Aldi, so there's that. But when it came to flour tortillas, not so much. Not so much. They did have some salt, but you could see that salt was getting kind of eaten into. I wouldn't be surprised if it's people going over to Walmart, can't find the salt, so they came over to Aldi and they picked it up here. It's just across the road. But look at that. No flour. All the flour gone. That's what we're seeing, folks. When it comes to the meat section over at Aldi, tuna is being hit pretty hard. Over at Walmart, the tuna actually looked pretty good. But across the board here, we're seeing some holes there with canned goods. Nothing too dramatic. But then when we come back over to the butters and the margarines and stuff like that, we're seeing a lot more holes over here. Tubs of cream cheese, etc. And then, of course, over here on the meats, the bacon, the hot dogs, can't keep them in stock. Can't keep them in stock. They still have their chicken limit of 1. That has been going on for several months now, because it's normal not to be able to have enough fresh chicken for everyone to buy more than 1. Some holes in the frozen food section, but nothing too serious. And that's kind of what Aldi looked like. All right, folks, please do keep your reports coming in of what you're seeing where you are. Just use the word update and give us some sort of geographical location. Just pop that down in the comments down below so I can search for it. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video, it's on the screen right here. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Steve Poplar, out.